All right, welcome back. Vladimir Putin says he is interested in the prospect of peace, but his military continues to ravage Ukraine, targeting civilians. Another wave of attacks last night saw 2 ballistic missiles, nearly 100 drones targeting Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. Let's bring in Rebecca Grant, who's national security and military analyst. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you back again.
Good to be here.
We were talking in the break a little, or you and John were talking in the break a little bit about the unwillingness of some of the folks, the leaders in the room, world leaders, to call Putin's bluff when it comes to his intentions here, meaning the negotiations, the peace negotiations will go where they may, but anybody who tells you Putin is going to just decide of his own accord to come into compliance is delusional.
Well, and I think that's beginning to change because, face it, the European leaders we saw here Monday, they have had it with Putin. They've had it with the drones, the missiles, the cyber, the sabotage in that area. And, Jillian, these security guarantees with Britain, France, Italy, Finland, they're going to go forward regardless of whether Putin clears his calendar for a summit or not.
Right. But there's also this idea, and Mike Pence brought this up the other day, the former vice president, that what President Trump should do to really focus Putin's attention is immediately slap on some pretty severe sanctions. And Pence reminded me that back in 2019, he went to see Erdogan, who was threatening to annihilate the Kurds. And he said the only thing that got Erdogan to move was a whole list of sanctions that President Trump was enacting against Turkey. It took about 48 hours, and the Turks completely turned around. Should the president do that against Putin while we're waiting for this meeting to take place?
I like that idea. I'd put secondary sanctions on China, Russia's biggest oil customer, right now. And then he can take them off when Putin agrees to a date. We've heard cross currents also from Secretary Rubio, I think, saying they feel they've got momentum now towards getting Putin to agree. Obviously, it's behind the scenes. We don't really know. And I think that's why they're holding off. But the Senate has reminded us, too, that those sanctions are ready anytime. He did it to India, a closer ally, for heaven's sakes. He'll do it to China, too, and I'd say the sooner the better.
I mean, us normal folks could also be forgiven for being skeptical when, senior government officials tell us, things are going great, and now we have a real chance at this. I mean, Biden administration officials told us this for, 3 years, that we were getting closer to where we wanted to be, that victory, they didn't want a diplomatic solution, they wanted a kinetic victory. So they told us for 3 years, that we were inching closer to that, despite what everybody saw was happening.
Right, despite the fact that Biden had no plan and no plan for victory for Ukraine. Trump has a plan. It's pretty clear.
He's a step ahead.
And I believe this is a step ahead. You got to always be skeptical with Putin, but I believe there's momentum here.
I want to bring up this graphic from the Institute for the Study of War, General Jack Keene's organization here. When we talk about the idea of a land swap, this is the part of Donetsk there in sort of that purplish color that Russia wants, that is currently in Ukrainian hands. And you see the circle around the 3 cities of Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, and Konstantinivka. Those are population centers. 2 of those are military headquarters that have been there since 2014. This is the vaunted fortress wall that Russia has not been able to break through. Do you think Zelensky would be out of his mind to give that territory to Russia?
It's heartbreaking. Russia had that for like 5 minutes in 2014, and now they've held on to it. Kramatorsk is vital. I would hate to see it go back. But wherever that line gets drawn, here's what you do tactically. You back up Ukraine's superb army with air power. Drones, yes, but also F-35s and other fighters. Don't forget, F-35s are nuclear capable. And then if a Russian tank breaks out of there in 2026 or 2027, they are creamed by air power. We saw that in the Gulf War. We saw that in Syria. We have not seen that in Ukraine, but that is NATO's secret weapon for deterrence, for lasting deterrence.
So do you think NATO could take out a Russian tank and not have it escalate?
If there
Well, it wouldn't be NATO, first of all.
It would not
you think
be NATO.
The Article 5
right.
defense, whatever it is?
The Article 5 gang could absolutely do that. And there was skepticism because of Russia's air defenses. I'm telling you right now, our NATO commander, Grinch, he knows where all those air defenses are. It's a different battle space. We must rely now more on air power, along with air defenses, to give Ukraine those long-lasting guarantees against Russian invasions. It worked for Eisenhower on D-Day. It'll work against Russia.
All right, nicely said. We got to leave it there. Thanks so much for taking time with us.
Thanks,
Great
Rebecca.
to see you as
Good
always.
to see you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you again, I'm sure.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.